Thank you very, very much, Neil. I appreciate those comments. I could correct a few of them, but I won't. And I thank you so much for being here. And I would like, first of all, to have people give a round of applause to Neil and Patricia for the great work that they do in bringing all of the Irish people together on a continuing basis. This is just one of their events. It's a pleasure, as I said, to be here because this is a unique group of people. The whole audience here are unique, but also specifically the people here that were being honored tonight and being recognized. You're an extraordinary group, and it's my privilege and my pleasure to be a part of that group. And we have some things in common. Not only the honorees at this event tonight, but the honorees at previous events that Neil has held. We have common characteristics. And if you think about it, we're all motivated by a desire to do a number of common things. We're all motivated by a desire to innovate, to pioneer discovery, to answer those questions that others find hard to answer. We're motivated to empower the imagination, to stretch people's thought process, to think about what's possible, to defeat the dictum that it cannot be done. We as a group, you as a group, we like to break with tradition. We like to break with the status quo. We like to take risk. We like to lead, not just follow. You can reflect on that as you remember Neil and Patricia talking about all of the developments that have been caused by the people that have been brought up here tonight. Those are extraordinary characteristics. Those are the characteristics that move things forward, that get people thinking about what can be done, not about what cannot be done. Another characteristic is to talk about the potential that we all have, even to do more than we currently have done. Because none of us, despite our best efforts, have stretched the imagination and the brain power to the extent that we all know we can stretch it. The possibilities are extraordinary. And I believe very, very firmly that that intellectual curiosity, that inquisitiveness, that perseverance, that explorer mentality is central to the Irish culture and a key part of Irish history. All you got to do is think of all of the fabulous people of Irish descent and from Ireland that have made some remarkable breakthroughs over time, going back to the beginning of time. Dr. Campbell from Donegal, person who got the Nobel this past week, is just one example. Jim Watson is another one, and it goes on and on and on. Also important to remember, for example, that it stretches even way beyond the narrow definitions of healthcare. 2 of the 6 physicians that signed the Declaration of Independence were trained in Ireland. You have other people like Toby Cosgrove running Cleveland Clinic from Sligo. His family came from Sligo. So you can recount all of those wonderful things through the names and the personalities of so many people that we all know, and so many people that we wish we knew, and so many of those people that we read about in the history books and beyond. But what's more important about this group and all of those others that have contributed in this arena of health and life sciences is that it has all been focused on curing disease, finding treatment for disease, preventing disease, helping people's lives get better. That is indeed a noble endeavor. And all of us that have been involved in it over the years can feel remarkably proud that that's the profession we're in, that that's the area we focus on. And that's where we put our energies and our commitment and our resources, because there is nothing better than being able to say that you try to do something, even in a small way, to help other people's lives get a little bit better. And when you think about it, you think about the dramatic successes that have occurred because of the cumulative endeavors of all of these people working together over the years. Just think of what is possible to do today that was not possible to do 5 to 10 years ago. Think of all of the advances in cancer, in heart disease, what we can do in orthopedics, what we can do in neuroscience, what we can do as a result of the sequencing of the human genome. People are better off today. We're all living better. We're living longer. When you're involved in a healthcare system like which is where you get very, very close to the things going on in the hospital by physicians and researchers and others on a day-to-day basis, you are absolutely enthralled by what can occur and what is occurring that was almost unimaginable 10 years ago. That should make us all feel better. And when you think about the possibilities for the future, we've come a long way, but just think of what it will be like if we're standing here 10 years from now of those things that will have transpired between today and 10 years from now. The whole new field of bioelectronic medicine, their new technologies, their new surgical tools, the new diagnostic tools, all of those things that will make it possible to do extraordinary work going forward. So that we can look back on it at the end and say, well, we made lots of progress up to the year 2015, but just imagine what can be done between 2015 and 2025. The potential is extraordinary, and we're all part of it. Not only the people who got the award tonight, but family members and others. And as we sit here, and as we stand here tonight, and we are recalling all of the great things that we've done, it's also very, very important for all of us to recall all of the people that have helped us get to this point. Because irrespective of what each of us have ever done in our small ways, have not been done without the support of friends and neighbors and even critics and families and our parents. All have contributed to our situation here, which, quite frankly, we're a very, very privileged group. We're a very, very privileged group indeed, and we should not forget about it, especially in the context of what's going on across the world these days. We should think not only about our immediate families that have helped us, but just for a moment, think about those people who came here, our family members from decades and a century ago who came here facing enormous hardship and discrimination, who came to this country searching for new opportunity. It's an extraordinary story. You know, when I was looking up the history of the yacht club, it dates back to 1844. In Irish history, that's an interesting period. That was the famine times. That's when the yacht club in the United States was originally formed, the origin of this. But it was during that period of time that people came here in unbelievable circumstances, searching for opportunity in a world at the time of the unknown. They didn't know where they were going, and they did not know what they would face. Those are the people who had the courage. We are the people who are benefactors of that courage. And as we know, it's happening today. Not only in this country, same things are happening here and are happening abroad. All you have to do is watch television and unite, read the stories, and you reflect upon the troubles and the aspirations of so many people migrating from one part of the world to the other in search of opportunity. The image of that 3-year-old boy, Alan Kurdi, on the beach is something that will stay with many of us forever. On the beach, because of the struggle by his family to leave a country, avoid poverty and oppression, searching for opportunity in the unknown. We appreciate that. History repeats itself, and we as Irish people have a special perspective with regard to that issue. And I believe, as people who are currently quite fortunate, have an obligation to bring some element of sanity, humanism, civility, and understanding into the debates that are currently going on politically, both in this country and abroad, regarding people who want to move in search of opportunity and putting up with extraordinary hardship just like our predecessors did. As I said, history repeats itself. We should be concerned, I believe, because it's all part of health. It's all part of the effort to try to promote wellness, try to promote opportunity for people and help people have a better life. That's our profession. We also have to remind ourselves, and we should remind ourselves of this continuously, that we're all immigrants or descendants of immigrants. So as you watch TV and you listen to the stories and we sit and we take bows about some of the things that we try to accomplish, let us never forget the history and those that did extraordinary things that probably we, as good as we think we are, would never have the courage to do back in those days, 100 years ago. And that same courage is being personified today by people from all over the world searching for what our forebears also searched for, opportunity. And who knows, in some future time, some of the kids of those people will stand in podiums like this and talk about the major contributions they've just made to the societies they just entered. So let's be proud of our noble profession, proud of our achievements, but always keep it in perspective. As David Thoreau said, it's not what you look at that matters. It's what you see. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.